Behind me is a Toyota Yaris GR. No, it's not. It's a GR Yaris. You've always got to say it that way.
Toyota GR Yaris.
It's a GR Yaris, not a Yaris GR.
It's not a GR, but it's kind of a GR.
What's a GR for? But
it's a Toyota.
We're being
GR Yaris.
pedantic here now.
No,
technically it is, but
it's a Toyota GR Yaris.
You shut up, okay?
Yes.
I don't need to be corpsing right now, okay? Jesus. Alright, give me a break, give me a break. Behind me is a Toyota GR Yaris. It is possibly the most sought after performance car right now. 2 doors, 3 cylinders, a turbocharger, 4-wheel drive. What's not to love? It's basically a rally car for the road, and I've got the key.
Nope.
Well, I did have the key, so today instead I get to wash it and give it a light ceramic coating, and you guys are going to come along for the journey. Thanks for that. So here's the car. It is, well, from a distance it looks fine, but you get up close and you'll see all manner of bug death all over the front there. Relatively fresh too. The owner of this car said to me, I have left it alone, I haven't touched it. I even managed to get close to some puddles for you. Thanks, mate. You can see the condition of the wheels here. They look nice, but nope, they're covered in a thick layer of brake dust. You can see there's all manner of splatters, splashes, mud, and so on. He really has been enjoying this car to the fullest whilst he has owned it. Now, I do believe that the wash that's coming up with this car will actually be its first real proper wash after receiving it. The car has maybe done 100 or so miles since he has received it. It was brand new, imported into the country through the Toyota dealer network. You can see the back end there looking relatively shabby. I'm really pleased, actually. I'm surprised he was able to leave it alone for as long as this, because I don't think I could with an absolutely brand new car like this. He really has been using it though like a rally car. I've been out for a drive in this thing, and I can tell you something, it is bonkers fun. Loads of power, loads of grip. You can see that roof there, that's a carbon fiber wrap. It's not actually a carbon fiber roof as such. It's a wrap on top, so we won't worry about that too much. But you can see the black plastics were certainly looking a bit shabby, and that lovely white paint could do with a clean. So, getting on to the pre-rinse. And I've said this many times before, you can definitely apply a pre-wash product to a dry car, but I would recommend you get rid of as much dirt as you possibly can before you go in for the contact wash. By doing this, you are going to make the contact wash a little safer. Not to say that it's really dangerous not to do this, but I'm just removing as much as I can in a touchless fashion before I actually have to make contact with it with my wash media. I'm trying to blast off as much of those dead bugs and all the residue on the front there. You can also see just how much brake dust has come off the front wheel there. You can see it running off the back. Loads of brake dust there. I don't want that to be there. I want it to be gone as much as possible. So just taking that little bit of extra time and care on a car like this, it's just going to help it that little bit more to keep that paint in as good a condition as possible. Then it's time to give it a pre-treatment. So this in my pump sprayer here is Shiny Garage citrus oil. They call it a citrus TFR, and I'll tell you something, it's a powerful product. It got a liberal going over on the car. And I wanted to bring you in here because you can see a bunch of that bug death has already gone, and actually moments before this you can actually see it running away. So the active chemicals in the citrus oil really were doing a fantastic job of just helping to free up that bug, grime and death from the front end of the car. It really was an effective product, a very, very impressive product. I've used it in the past and I just forgot how good it was. So really, really useful for getting in to tight places. And then of course a coating of snow foam. This is to stop the citrus pre-wash from drying out at all. I believe this snow foam was Stjarnagloss Snow, and it's not a very thick solution of this, and that's because I wanted to give it a wet coating, not so much a thick foamy coating, but just a wet coating. So it was a relatively weak dilution of this, which is why it's not super duper foamy. But this allows the citrus pre-wash to remain wet, to stop it from drying out. Although it didn't look like a very hot sunny day, it was relatively warm and windy. Now with that wet snow foam on there, I've got a very soft bristled detailing brush. This is the ultra soft detailing brush from Carbon Collective. And I'm using this to gently agitate around areas which could be dirt traps. Now it won't be really, really super dirty, but there could be dust and grime and things like that just hiding in areas like the window rubbers and here like the badges. So I'm just being soft and gentle and careful just to help it agitate some of that grime and get it out of there and flush it out just that little bit easier. There's that GR4 badge that we were arguing about at the beginning. Got to get in there. Anywhere that there's lettering, get yourself in there, but do it gently. These soft bristle brushes are a really good idea for this. Also in here with the fog lights. I do like how he's colored these fog lights with that sort of luminous yellow film there. It's really nice actually. A lot of the aero on this car is actually properly active aero. There's real vents all around the place. That giant vent you see on the right hand side by the front grille, that's a proper massive vent that goes through into the wheel arches to vent the brakes. And you're not a true detailer unless you get into the fuel filler cap, although again this car has probably only been filled up once or twice since he has taken ownership of it, so I'm sure there's not going to be any grime on there, but just in case, you know, it doesn't hurt. It's a relatively cavernous hole in there in the side as well. Lots and lots of space for what is relatively a small filler cap. Now getting onto the wheels and tyres, I'm using products here from Carscope UK. This is their wheel and tyre cleaner. I'm giving that a quick scrub around the tyres. You can see it all turning brown. And then I'm spraying it into the wheel barrel itself. And apart from the fact that he plonked himself in front of the camera there, I'm using a wheel shampoo as well, and I've got the Garage Therapy wheel mitt. This thing was fantastic. I didn't bring any long reach wheel brushes with me. Thankfully these wheels are wide enough spoked that I can reach my hand into the barrel of the wheel and get in there in places that maybe you couldn't normally. And that's already looking much, much cleaner and better. Now for the contact wash, again, I'm using Carscope's shampoo here. A really nice, slick shampoo. I'm using the wash pad from Garage Therapy. So a mixture of brands of products here, and it's a proper 2-bucket method. So I'm going one half of the car, usually the top half, and then rinsing before the second half. And every time I washed a panel, whenever the sun was coming out, I didn't want it to dry out too much and end up with watermarks. So I gave it a quick rinse over before starting the next bit. I don't want any suds or bubbles or foam to end up drying on the car and ending up giving me something else to tackle later. Also, I did notice I spent a huge amount of time actually talking to the owner here. We spent so long talking while I was doing this. It was actually really enjoyable just to have a chat with someone while I was doing the job. But I guess it did also slow me down a bit. I could have gone through this much faster had I not been distracted by our conversation. Now this is what the iron fallout reaction looked like after the wash. You can see there's a fair amount of reaction. This is down the side skirt and the left side of the car. And it's definitely been given a few minutes to dwell there. You can see there's definitely some iron fallout there. So that gets a slow rinse off at high pressure with the pressure washer there, just to help move that off as much as possible. I didn't want to go down the route of a mechanical decontamination on this car. I wanted it to be fully chemical. I didn't expect there to be too much in the way of contaminants there, but we'll keep an eye on the car in the future. The back end definitely had some as well. And once it's been dried, it gets taken indoors up on the ramp, where I am going to give it a quick once over. I'm going to check it, look for any drips, any marks on the paint, and then I'm going to start prepping for the ceramic coating. You can see here though that the paint is really clean after just a wash. Really happy with the condition of it. And so here I am using Infinity Wax's prep spray. This is Synergy Prep. It's an isopropyl alcohol mixture, and this is going to be sprayed and wiped over every single panel that I'll be coating. This is to make sure that there are no remaining greases, waxes, silicons, oils of any sort, anything that may have come from my skin or anything else that may have ended up on the paint for any reason that could not be washed off through the normal wash and decontamination process. So be very, very thorough when you're using your prep spray. A few sprays on the panel, maybe a spray or two on your microfiber, and wipe over. Generally, it will flash off very, very quickly. So make sure you do not miss anything. This will help with the adhesion of your ceramic coating later. Be very methodical with it. And now over to Specky for some more words. So this is where it gets to the coating side of things. So I've got Infinity Wax Synergy Lite. This is the coating we're going for. I'm using this applicator from Carscope. The idea being that this is meant to hold more of the coating on the surface rather than soaking it into the sponge inside, so you don't use quite so much product. I've also got a short pile microfiber. This is going to be for leveling the coating. And then I've got a very plush, I think, oh, isn't that good? This is a 500 GSM towel. This one will be for the final buff. This is not something that requires huge amounts of being careful. It's my first time trying this, so we'll see how it goes. But I've seen all the videos about it. I've watched, I've read, I've learned as much as I can about it. Now I just have to put all that into practice. So I was just about to load up the sprayer there, and I was squirting this, and it wasn't working. It wasn't coming out. I couldn't quite figure it out, but then it turns out there was a click, and I wasn't squeezing it quite hard enough. I was panicking for a moment there. This is the last thing I need when I'm doing this, but now, okay, it's fine. I'm wasting product here, but it's fine mist. So we're going to go 10 sprays on the applicator, get it loaded up, get it prepped, and then I'm going to go half the bonnet. I'm going to draw a plus sign to spread the product out, and then I'm going to start working across in a hashtag, sort of side to side and then up and down. We'll see how this goes. All right, let's go. And by drawing a plus there, you are spreading out some of the product, which you will then pick up as you work across it in a vertical and then horizontal motion. Once you have spread it evenly, wipe over with your first microfiber. This is to pick up any high spots, and the second microfiber buffs it back to a high gloss. A quick demonstration there of the immediate difference in slickness between the uncoated and then coated section of the paint there. Really made a noticeable difference. I have to admit, this was incredibly nice to use. And from his point of view, the owner could see that there was one small section which had perhaps a high spot. So what I did here, just with his guidance, was to wipe that over again to level it out, reapply a small amount there just to spread anything that may have gone a little bit too thick or left over. Another quick wipe to level it over properly, and then the last microfiber to buff it to a high shine, and we got that bit sorted. So while I was over there on the other side of the car, I was working this, I was applying it, and I dropped the bottle. This is glass. But I'll tell you something, it's a strong bottle because it landed and it didn't crack. There's no damage. I can carry on. Oh boy, that was a close one. We panicked. I don't mind saying we panicked a little bit here. We both made a noise.
You panicked!
You Yes, I panicked. He just laughed at me. Well done on making a solid, hefty bottle. That's good. So the nice thing about his workshop here was that he had this scissor lift, which was able to get the car nice and high up, and it meant I didn't have to bend down and crawl around on my hands and knees to get the lower sections of the car coated. This made a big difference. It was so much nicer. I would like to have a portable version of something like this at my house. I think it really would make a big difference. But it was fantastic, and we had some portable lights to help around. Again, good lighting is important in a situation like this. Make sure you can see what you're doing. An inspection light is good too. I always have an inspection light with me just in case, and that's to give a better look in certain situations where you haven't got ideal lighting. But we had a couple of portable halogen inspection lamps there, or work lamps, and they made a big difference, and we could move those around the workshop. And this applicator from Carscope was also really good. That allowed me to spread the product really far, and at the end of this job I only used about a fifth of a bottle to cover absolutely everywhere except the roof of the car. Right, job done. Let's have a look at the car. Let's check that out. That is glossy. Look at that gloss. That is lovely, glossy, shiny. That is fantastic. Let's come down here. It cleaned up really nicely. Oof. That reflection, really nice. This is just on the paint. This is not on any of the black plastics like you have here, or underneath the skirt, or the spoiler. But what I will do, so I'm not leaving him completely in the lurch, I'm going to put a spray sealant on here instead, just to keep it looking nice and hydrophobic. Look at that. And this is hopefully going to last 12 months, but I'm going to come back to this in a while, 6 months maybe, and have a look and see how well this coating has kept up, how well it's lasted. I am going to give the owner some tips on what to do and a list of products to use. And yeah, it's pretty epic. I can't even see myself. There it goes. It's pretty epic. So, oh God, look at that height. Oh, that's an unforgiving light, isn't it? Oh, it's like something out of Halloween. No.
Show us all your pretty bits.
I don't have pretty bits. This is the only pretty bit here so far. This isn't it nice? So, job done. I'm gonna get on to that sealing now, black plastics, before a final beauty shot outside, methinks, maybe, possibly. Possibly. Let's have a look. And as she appears from the workshop, it is fantastic. I'm really impressed with this light ceramic coating. It was really easy for me to use, really easy for me to get the hang of. Really doesn't require huge amounts of knowledge or experience to use. Just read up and learn about it if you're going to try and use it yourself. Really quick and easy, straightforward. Hopefully 12 months worth of protection here, but we'll come back later on to check it out. And as the car looks upon the countryside in the sunshine at all the back roads it could hit, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.